What is an adjective? It's a describing word. It qualifies a noun or a pronoun. It adds something to the meaning of a noun. It is generally placed before a noun or after a verb. Adjective is one of the 8 parts of speech in English. An adjective added to a noun tells us more about a person or thing named by the noun. Look at the examples given in the slide. Young man, holy book, walking stick, intelligent boy. The underlined words are adjectives. They give us more information about the peculiar nature of the nouns that follow them. There are 6 kinds of adjectives, namely adjectives of quality, adjectives of quantity, adjectives of number, distributive adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, and interrogative adjectives. Let us learn them one by one. The adjective that tells us of what kind of person or a thing is called adjective of quality. Look at the example sentence given in the slide. The underlined word brave tells us what kind of a king Babur was. It shows Babur's quality. Most of the adjectives belong to this category. Words like much, little, some, any, enough, sufficient, whole, etc. tell us how much of a thing is intended. In other words, they express quantity of something. So they are called adjectives of quantity. See the sentence given in the slide. The underlined word much shows the quantity of money he possessed. Adjectives of quantity answer the question, how much? The adjectives all, many, several, etc. show how many persons or things there are, or in what order any of them stands. So they are called adjectives of number. Adjectives of number answer the questions, how many, or in what order. In the sentence, many women were not there, many answers to the question, how many women. Adjectives like each, every, either, neither, which show that the persons or things are taken one at a time, are called distributive adjectives. These adjectives give importance to the individual, not to the group. See the sentence given in the slide. The adjectives this, these, that, those, such, yonder, etc. point out which persons or things are meant. So they are called demonstrative adjectives. They answer the question, which. Look at the example given. Which house is mine? This house. Finally, adjectives which are used with nouns to ask questions are called interrogative adjectives. In the sentence given, the underlined word what is an interrogative adjective because it is placed before a noun to ask a question. Can you identify the adjectives in each of the sentences given in the slide? In the first sentence, beautiful is the adjective because it precedes a noun flower. Beautiful is an adjective of quality because it answers the question, what kind of flower it is. The second sentence, enough, is an adjective of quantity because it answers the question, how much had he the bread. In the third sentence, the number of rich men is indicated by the word some. So it is an adjective of number. We studied earlier that either is a distributive adjective. So in the fourth sentence, either that precedes pen is the adjective. In the fifth sentence, the noun, friends, is preceded by the word those. The word those pinpoints some particular friends, not all. So, it is a demonstrative adjective. Now let us look into the position of adjectives in a sentence. Most adjectives can be used before the noun that they describe or after a linking verb. In the slide, we can see two sentences having the same adjective. In the first sentence, adjective new is before the noun pen, whereas in the second sentence, new comes after the linking verb is. However, there are certain adjectives that do not come before a noun, and there are some adjectives that can only be used before a noun. Adjectives like asleep, afraid, alive, ashamed, certain, pleased, etc. come after a linking verb. Some common linking verbs are am, is, was, are, were, will be, look, seem, etc. Adjectives like chief, main, former, downright, etc. can only be used before a noun. When there are two or more adjectives before a noun, they are not usually separated by and. Refer the first example given in the slide. Here, comma is used to separate the two adjectives fat and old. But when the adjectives indicate color, and is used. See the second example. When adjectives of quality are placed after the verbs like seem, appear, look, etc., or various forms of be, and is placed between the last two adjectives. The third example shows this. Is, the present tense form of be, is used before the adjectives there. Recollect that the other forms of be are am, are, was, were, etc. When we use adjectives from different groups together, we do not use a comma or and. See the example given in the slide. Three adjectives, long, dark, and woolen, are used together to qualify the noun coat. So neither comma nor and is used in that sentence. Adjectives having the same qualities or characteristics belong to a particular group. Size, color, and nationality are three groups of adjectives. When we mention them, we follow the order size, color, nationality. See the example given in the slide. Tall size, followed by dark color, and then African nationality. Note this carefully. In this segment, we are going to learn the degree of comparison of an adjective. Adjectives change in forms to show comparison. They are called degrees of comparison. There are 3 degrees of comparison. Look at the 3 sentences in the slide. In the first sentence, the adjective clever denotes the simple quality of the noun Mary. It is used when no comparison is made. So it is said to be in the positive degree. In the second sentence, the adjective cleverer tells us that Mary, when compared with her sister, has more cleverness. So it is in the comparative degree. It is used when two persons or things are compared. The adjective cleverest in the third sentence tells us that amongst all other girls in the class, Mary has the highest degree of cleverness. So it is in the superlative degree. It is used when more than two persons or things are compared. All adjectives have these 3 degrees of comparison. Look at these sentences. The first one is comparative and the second is superlative. Note the word than in the first sentence. The comparative degree is generally followed by the conjunction than. But the comparative can also be used without than. How? By slightly changing the sentence like this. Anil is the wiser of the two boys. Likewise, the superlative degree is preceded by the and followed by of, as in the case of second sentence. But of need not be used in a superlative sentence if it is expressed or written in a different way. For example, Anil is the wisest boy in the class. Now let us discuss the methods of forming degrees of comparison. The comparative and superlative of an adjective are usually formed by adding er and est respectively to the positive form. The first example shows this. In the second example, the adjective brave ends in e. When the positive form ends in e, only r and st are added to the positive form to get the comparative and superlative. When the positive form ends in a consonant and the consonant is preceded by a short vowel, the final consonant is doubled and er and est are added to form comparative and superlative. In the third example, the adjective fit ends in one consonant t preceded by a short vowel I, so the comparative and superlative forms of fit are fitter and fittest respectively. In the fourth example, the adjective happy ends in y. If the positive form ends in y and the y is preceded by a consonant, the y is changed into I and er and est are added to form the comparative and superlative. Thus we have happy, happier, happiest. But if the y is preceded by a vowel, the y is not changed into I when er and est are added. This is shown in example 5. In the previous slide, we learned the rules of formation of degrees of comparison in the case of adjectives with one syllable. Now let us look into adjectives having two or more syllables. A syllable is a minimum rhythmic unit of spoken language consisting of a vowel and a consonant. Words having two or more syllables can be split into different sound units. See the first example given in the slide. It's a two-syllable word, clever. If a two-syllable word ends in OW, IE, and ER, usually ER and EST are added to create comparative and superlative. Clever ends in ER. So the comparative and superlative forms of clever are cleverer and cleverest. Two-syllable adjectives ending in ing as in tiring, ful as in faithful, ive as in active, less as in careless, ous as in precious, and re as in meager usually take more and most before them. Example 2 shows this. In the third example, the word courageous has more than two syllables. Adjectives of three or more syllables take more and most before them. Now the fourth example. This is an exception. Here, the comparative and superlative forms are quite different from the positive form. There are a few adjectives like this that take irregular comparatives and superlatives. Some of the examples are bad, worse, worst, little, less, least, and many, more, most. Look at the slides and please notice the wrong usage in the comparative and superlative sentences. These types of errors are common among the beginners. What are the errors in these sentences? Double comparatives, more taller, and double superlatives, most kindest, are used respectively. This should be avoided. Look at the slide. We have a question and an answer there. What do you think of them? Are they right? Look at the underlined words, senior and junior. They are adjectives, but they do not take than after them because they are already comparative in nature. Senior means older in years or higher in rank. Junior means younger in years or lower in rank. Therefore, these words take to instead of than after them. So the given sentences are wrong. We must correct them as senior to and junior to. So the corrected sentences would be, who is senior to you in service? And all are junior to me in service. Two other adjectives in this nature are superior and inferior. Let us see how we can compare two things or persons. Look at the first example. Here, this room and the other room have equal size. As plus positive degree of adjectives, plus as is used in comparison of equals. In the second example, two unequals are compared. Here the rule is comparative degree of the adjective plus than. See bigger than in the second sentence. The third example shows a negative comparison. Look at the underlined words. Negative comparison is made like this. Not so plus positive degree of an adjective plus as. Here are 4 ways of comparing 3 or more things or persons. In the first sentence, the superlative form of the adjective, oldest, is used to compare the oldness of the person, he, with the rest of the men in the village. In the second sentence, comparative form of the same adjective is used for the same purpose. The comparative word older is followed by than any other. In the third sentence, the positive form of the adjective is used for comparison. We must place the positive form of the adjective between as and as or so and as. Another type of comparison can be seen in the fourth sentence. The usage of one of the serves this purpose. Remember, one of the is followed by the superlative degree of the adjective. Another point is, plural noun, here cities, is used in a sentence having one of the. Well, through this session we understood that adjectives add special meaning to the nouns they complement. We studied the 3 degrees of comparison regarding adjectives and learned how they can be used to compare 2 or more persons or things. I hope you are now pretty aware about the importance of adjectives in English language. Special attention must be given to the nuances in usage of adjectives so that you do not make grammatical mistakes. Good luck. Thank you.